What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. I got 3 new emails that said they all have castles that have barricades to them. So we're gonna jump into the first one here, which is Kazow. Castle level's a 30. I've run his castle a ton of times. It's got this level 30 archer. So let's jump into it and take a look at what he's got this time around.
Hope you don't mind a little friendly visit.
Alright, so T-junction room. Looks like most of the mines are just in here. It's pretty hard to place all of the mines when your castle's full of traps and stuff like that. So it's good to have like one room that they're placed in. The only problem is that there's a lot of kiting potential when you leave like open rooms like this, which is kind of annoying. Like, I don't like that fact. Like, I wish you could put mines. Maybe they expanded like the treasure room and you could put mines in there or something. But I guess they have a gameplay impact now. I'm gonna go the other way because it looks like that's where the castle starts off with. I'm just gonna explore everything. I'm not gonna worry about getting the time. And 3-starring here. Alright. Yeah, so bling mines do give 5 seconds, which is kind of annoying as well, because not everybody really has them. I guess it's even more so a thing where you could actually have no mines in your castle if you created the castle and then just got your loot strictly from attacking people. It would take forever to get up there, but you would actually have the strongest castle because of that. Because bling mines are only one shot, and they give you 5 seconds, and I think overall it's like more worth it to not have mines than to have mines and place them in situations where it doesn't take people 5 seconds to kill each and every mine. Maybe it takes them a few extra seconds because they don't know where it is, but when they're all grouped up like this, where a lot of people's are, it's too easy to get that couple extra seconds to really be able to complete a castle in 3 stars. I don't know. I guess knowing your own castle's layout lets you do it a little bit faster anyway. I'm going the wrong way. So I guess it's not that big of a deal. But I do think that having no mines is definitely a stronger thing to do. I'm not gonna like rebuild my entire castle just to try to not have mines, but it would be something that someone could do. I don't care that much about that. Alright, so it looks like it's a mouse wheel room. I tend to actually skip mouse wheel rooms, but because it's viewer castles I won't. But for myself, I do tend to skip them for the most part. And just not even worry about clearing these rooms and just let myself get 2 stars, because generally you can. Sorry, I'm trying not to take damage from these guys. Generally you can get 2 stars on a castle if you just skip the mines and skip this room altogether, because it takes a couple seconds for the defender to be able to do it when they're validating. Maybe right now I wouldn't be able to, just because I wasted a lot of time already in this castle. But this is actually a pretty good one though. Yeah, I ended up dying to it. The bear traps are really good here, because you have to dance around to be able to take little amounts of damage from the smelly warriors and stuff like that, and the ballista traps as well. Alright. So far no barricades though. Maybe he hasn't updated for barricades yet. He sent me an email, but I don't know that it was actually about barricades. It looks like it's just everything in the boss room. Alright, so yeah, there was no barricades in this one. There is gonna be for the next 2. Alright, so yeah, it's set up well. It's, you know, a mouse wheel room into and everything in the boss room castle. They obviously work. It's kind of like the meta right now, although there are other things that you can do now that there are barricades. I'm probably not going to make it through this though, without dying a couple more times, so I'll probably just quit out after this and get on with the next castle. So yeah, we'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up we have XDADAX 900CZ. Castle levels of 26. Validated with either one of these characters, probably the knight though. So let's jump into it. This one should have barricades. I'm pretty sure in the email they said
What's yours?
They said there were barricades in this one, so hopefully. Alright, so yeah, there's some barricades right there. Slowing people down around traps is always good with these barricades also. You can definitely force them to take a little extra damage. I like the traps that I wasn't even able to see because of the barricades. That's pretty cool. It's a neat little touch. Not the biggest deal in the world because there's not really much around here. But yeah, like having to stutter step across these spike traps and try not to take damage from it, it's pretty difficult to do. That's something I wanted to do in my castle, but I just didn't have enough... hold on, didn't have enough gold to do it. Alright, so this is a pretty difficult room, but I did manage to make it out without taking too much damage. Archers are the best at dealing with rooms like this because they have that extra, like, you roll in, and then you have another escape that also stuns everything around you. And then after you use this plus a volley, it'll kill off all of the barricades, so I have, like, free movement inside of this already small room. Alright. This is definitely one of the mouse rooms that I would skip, for sure, if I saw this castle. This is pretty interesting. Stupid derp got in the way of my headshot, so it's gonna take a little longer to kill this guy. There we go. Okay. I'll volley that just to take out all the barricades before I go across. Get rid of the silence, get rid of the other buffs if I can. And for this being only a level 26 castle and I've already used this many potions, it's going to work pretty well against level 26 people for sure. Alright. Managed to take out all of that. This is a very high point room though, so there's probably not going to be all that much left. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a boss room after this. See if there's any barricades in the boss room. I had some ideas about that. I'm not sure if it would be better than spike traps like this. Probably not, to be honest, because barricades can be destroyed. So let's see if there's any creatures in there. It looks like there are. I'm going to headshot this Zeke from far away, see if I can kill it. So that's going to be a lot of the damage there.
Plenty more where that came from.
Alright, so let's get up to the side here. It doesn't actually look like there's a boss in here, so it's going to allow me to skip a few monsters. Anytime you have a boss room that doesn't have a boss in it, it's possible to skip mobs, like always. There's no way to design it otherwise. Like, the only way is if I accidentally aggro these two on the side. So that's one thing about this, is it might be better to have a boss and allow all of your creatures to attack at the same time.
Hope you enjoy cleaning up the mess.
But yeah, pretty good castle. It's the same general design. There's definitely some different stuff that you can do with castles now, and I'm hoping to show that maybe. I mean, I already showed that with my first castle that I've created. I'm gonna try to show it again. Have some ideas that I wanna test out as well with my next castle. So we'll see. We'll see how much I can do. But yeah, you know, it's the same general design with the mouse room into a boss room. I'm hoping to see some different stuff that, like, it just improves it basically. Like, barricades always improve any strategy that you create. I'm hoping to see completely different designs though. So let's jump into number 3 in just a second. All right, next up we have Ledyn. Castle level's at 23. I jumped into it because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to attack him because he hadn't added me to friends list. So I wasn't sure if the targeted attack would work or not. So I just wanted to test it out before I started recording. But it looks like I'm into it here, so let's just take a look to see what he has here. Alright, so a couple empty rooms to start. This timer is enormous. If there's anything that you can do to actually get that timer down, I didn't notice to see what character you use, what hero you use. From the timer it seems like it could definitely be a knight though. Knights tend to have the longest timers because they have to kite things and they have to like play a certain way that makes them take a little bit longer. Whereas like archers just have higher DPS and mages have higher AoE damage dealing abilities. Yeah, that's definitely one of the longer timers that you see. Alright, let's see, what do we have in here? Alright, so there's a couple Jimbos. I'm gonna just jump in to see how this all reacts. Alright, so that's pretty cool. I just wanted to see what exactly I was gonna jump into there. You can kite this outside of it from here if you dropped a volley. Somewhere in here if it works. Oh, it's because I didn't have enough mana. But yeah, I ended up dropping the volley in there, and you can see, you could have kited this back through. Obviously these are a lot weaker than they should be because I'm higher level. But they still do 600 damage, which is nothing to really joke about. You know, mine are doing upwards of like 1800, so it's a pretty big difference, but it's a good room. Jelly wall here, barricades, and 2 or 3 Jimbos, I think. 2? 3? I don't know. There's 2 or 3 Jimbos inside of this room, which is a lot to deal with. Yeah, alright, so let's continue. This is another one of those rooms that you need to be careful of because it can kill you. I'm going to use a potion here and wait for the cooldown a little bit, just so I can test to see what exactly is happening, instead of like trying to kite it. I'd rather see exactly how it's supposed to be set up, rather than, you know, trying to outsmart castles like this, because I want to see these ideas. Alright, so it's into the boss room. Let's see. 3 Zeeks all on split shot. Split shot, I still think it might be the weakest of the abilities. I know it got buffed recently, but I don't think it was enough of a buff to actually matter. So yeah, there's not as many barricades in here, but for the lower level players, it's actually pretty difficult to afford barricades. They're pretty expensive, even for level 30s, and it's harder to get that amount of gold for like a level 23 player.
The bigger they are, the harder they die.
Alright, so let's see exactly what's going on here. I'm not sure what these traps were. It looks like they could be all the green traps. I'm not sure if that's the case. If that is the case, there's a couple too many in here. If they're all this corrosive mine trap, you could remove a couple of these from the middle and still get the same effect, because the AoE is large enough to cover that area. If there's something like slower fire mines, I guess that's okay. And then it's just a basic spikes on the side ballista traps for the boss room. I think you could definitely lower this time down a little bit if you have an archer or a mage to be able to get through here and actually kill off all the stuff fairly quickly. Yeah, other than that, pretty standard castles all around today.
You've just been
I don't know. I think there needs to be a lot more experimentation done, maybe by other people, and start to get these ideas out there. I don't know. I could actually look for some castles, and instead of viewer castles, I could just attack specific castles that I have already seen that have decent ideas. That would require me to find. It would actually work out. Never mind. Yeah, I might do that for one of my videos. I've seen a couple castles that have pretty decent ideas going into it, and I want to show some of them off so I can get some of those ideas out there, so we don't see the same type of castle all in all. Like, I don't hate an all in the boss room style castle. It's just that's what we've been seeing predominantly since Open Creation came out, pretty much. From like the first castles that had bugs where like creatures would fit inside of areas that you couldn't attack them in, to, you know, how we are now, where it's just an anti-kiting room plus an all in the boss room style castle. And then in between, you know, we had kill rooms like fire mines and different things like that that were also here, but predominantly it's been all in the boss room castles, and I'm hoping we can get the game at least a little bit away from that, because I think it'd just be more fun for everybody. Like, I don't think that's a really fun castle to attack. I think boss rooms are fine. It's just having you know, 100 to 150 points in the boss room every castle. Even mine has, you know, 80 to 100 points or something like that in the boss room. And I feel like you have to have a boss, or at least a boss room that's not empty, or else someone can just run to the end of your castle and be fine with doing that and taking probably less damage than they would if they attack your castle normally. So I think you do need a boss room. It's just I'm hoping we can get the game steered away from at least having, you know, 2 other rooms that are filled with creatures and stuff like that. Mouse wheel rooms themselves are probably the hardest to kite through, but they're also pretty heavy in points. And they don't really do that much if you just skip the mobs on the sides and just go through them. So we might be able to get that room out of popularity, I think, just by skipping that room altogether. It makes the castles quite a bit easier. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna end the video here. I might do one of those castles where I go and try to find some people's castles that have good barricade setups that are outside of like everything in the boss room style castles. I might do that for one of my next videos, but for right now, we're done here. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to be a part of ViewerCast, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. Level 20 and above castles, and yeah, if you've rebuilt your castle for barricades, I'd be definitely interested in going through it. I have quite a few people on my list that I haven't really ran because I don't know if they've updated their castles yet, and I don't really want to go through more castles without barricades. Like we're in the patch where there's a lot more interesting castles now that I'd like to be going through and showing off. So hopefully we can get more barricade castles through viewer castles. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for the banquet.